Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And how would I sum up the entire EA E3 2018 presentation? Electronic Arts is single-handedly ruining the video game industry. Smash JT. Let's be honest, going into this E3 press conference from EA, I had extremely low expectations. And somehow, they still came in lower than what I was thinking. What do? Battlefield 5, Battle Royale mode. Great. Big surprise there. Let's jump on the bandwagon of Battle Royale, because not everyone else is doing that already. And they proceed to talk about FIFA for about 15 minutes that nobody that I know about cares about. Now, I know FIFA is one of the best-selling games that EA has across the entire planet. But when it comes to actual games and gameplay, FIFA comes out every single year. There's nothing surprising, nothing mind-blowing about what's going on with it, and really no reason to spend that much time on a soccer game. Then they move on to an unnamed real-time strategy game on the mobile phone and take what feels like an hour and a half to show some gameplay of it on stage for a mobile phone game. And at the end of it, they say, hey, this is Command & Conquer for mobile phones, and you can download it now. Hooray!
Have been deployed and the action begins like any strategy game. Economy will be the focus. We have a harvester to start things off. Nothing too crazy yet.
Nothing too crazy.
And then they proceed to show a promo trailer for it that's better than the actual game. That makes no sense whatsoever. After they finished the gameplay of Command & Conquer on the mobile phones, I thought they were moving on to the spectacular title. But no, it was just crazy good graphics and an enhanced trailer to advertise the game they were just playing for 15 minutes. You can't tell me that they couldn't think of anything better, having an entire year to plan for E3, and they come up with a mobile phone port of Command & Conquer and proceed to spend over 15 minutes on stage with the trailer afterwards for a mobile phone game that no one cares about. But that's not even my biggest problem. Then they move on to Star Wars Battlefront 2 and apologize for the botched launch of that. But then proceed to say, we're going to be fixing this and adding all these new things to it. And we're going to try to put these things in so it makes more sense. And then they talk about microtransactions with it. And then they talk about how that's going to be normal and make it fair with everyone and balanced. They're trying to normalize microtransactions. Right then and there, I said, this is where EA is destroying the entire video game industry. Because at that point, they don't care about the fun you're having with the game. They don't care about how much enjoyment you're getting out of a title. They only care about how much money they're going to be able to make out of it. And while most businesses are in business to make money, they don't come out and say, hey, we don't care about if you like this product or if it's fulfilling your needs. We just want to make as much money off selling this product to you as possible. That's not a good way of doing business. And then they proceed to announce Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but then don't show any footage of it and don't have any information about the title. They just have a really awkward conversation with one of the devs of it and then move on to the next title. I don't know if that was supposed to get me excited, but based off the Star Wars Battlefront 2 launch, the last thing I want to hear coming out of EA is another Star Wars title. Give the title away to another company. Disney should have taken it away after that complete debauchery of Star Wars Battlefront 2, but for some reason, their contract allows them to make another game for it, and there's no way I'm excited about that one right now. And then they move on to Anthem, talking about how this game's coming out in February next year, and show some really cool gameplay from it. But all I could think while I was watching it is, this is Destiny with jetpacks. And originally, when I first saw the trailer for Anthem way back last E3, I thought it was going to be a pretty decent game. But once they actually show more gameplay footage of it, it looks like a carbon copy of Destiny. Maybe the game will actually be fun and different, but it's EA. I don't trust these guys when it comes to selling titles and being on the up and up. They're trying to make as much money as possible, and I know Anthem is going to be no different, especially with how long the development cycle's been for it. I could only imagine how much money they're going to try to squeeze out of the consumers once they actually start selling it. The only way I'd be interested in Anthem at this point is if maybe they even increased the price of it to say $80, and that was the only version allowed. There were no microtransactions, no loot boxes, no loot crates, no way to try to steal money from consumers. They sell you a complete game, and it's from start to finish actually decent. Then I might be interested in it. But this is EA, we know that's not going to happen, so I'm unfortunately not interested in Anthem whatsoever either. Unravel 2 actually looked pretty decent as far as graphics look for a 2D platformer. Unfortunately, the gameplay looked like it fell a bit short. There are too many other games that already do that similar type of gameplay available on other platforms to make me really care about Unravel 2. But I will say the one bright spot from this entire presentation was Sea of Solitude. This is one game that I really hope EA doesn't stick their grubby, greedy hands in and screw up with their microtransactions, and let this indie development team create it and sell it the way they want to, because it looks absolutely fantastic. The art style, the gameplay, the storyline is absolutely captivating. But outside of Sea of Solitude, there was nothing that EA showed me that impressed me. And Sea of Solitude is one of their indie titles from the EA Originals series that they're creating, dealing with indie developers. EA themselves, the AAA developer, really did nothing to impress me. To me, the presentation felt like it was full of lies, full of wasted time, full of cringe. Actually, everything EA has ever stood for in E3 in past years held true to this year. I would have thought that they might have learned something from the past years and changed it to fit the direction of the game industry, but clearly in this presentation, EA showed they're more concerned with lining their shareholders' pockets with money than lining the gamers with actually decent quality games. If nothing else, they could really benefit from hiring a professional speaker to speak to the audience about these games, because all the developers and these business guys that were talking about them came off as super cringy, super awkward, super scared, were afraid to talk about their game, and most of the messages they were trying to relay to the audience got completely lost in translation. Anyways, that's how I feel about EA and their E3 presentation. I give it a solid D, with the only savior being Sea of Solitude. But I'd love to hear from you guys on what you thought about EA's E3 2018 presentation. Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, I will catch you on the next one.
You can take on your friends in Command & Conquer Rivals starting today as well. Now, that's a lot of available stuff that's out today. Is anybody ready to go home and download anything? No?
J,